Hello, listeners. If you've enjoyed these narrations, please click on that like and subscribe button. Hello, my name is Lucas. That's not my real name. Sorry, but we're not that close yet. Not close enough to give you my name anyways. But I'm sure that'll change. I'm sure you're wondering why you're here, reading this poorly thrown together jumble of words. But I assure you, the mystery will all be revealed, eventually. Maybe. It sort of depends on how far you get. Listen on if you're a sucker for the unknown. Anyways, yes, on to the reason you're here. I'm looking for some help, but not in the way you normally would acquire for aid. I'm not asking for money or advice or even a hug. I'm looking for people. People who can overcome difficult tasks, make hard choices, and possibly be good with conversations. I need people who can break up fights, or start ones when the moments call for it. I specifically need someone who doesn't cry at funerals as well. Oh, and if you're the type who loves to finish puzzles in one sitting, I'm sorry, but you need to stop listening now. Those type never fit in here. To get started, try to remember the last time you were happy. Was it in class getting a good grade? Or perhaps a beautiful day walking next to the river? Or even a night out with your friends that you'd lost touch with over the years? Do you have it? Do you got that memory in your forefront of your mind? Good. Now hold that thought. Keep it in your mind. And now, forget it. Are you sad I took that thought away? Do you want it back? Well, tough. Sadly, once a memory is forgotten, it's taken by someone else. Now it's a dream, or a stroke of inspiration for another. I hope you're not too sad, though. I'd be happy knowing my pleasant memories gave someone else some joy, inspiration in their life. If you feel crossed with me, by all means, you can stop listening as well. But if you can forgive me, do continue. I need someone with a healthy amount of forgiveness after all, even if it isn't well deserved. Now on to the questionnaire part of this. Here are some questions I'd like you to ask yourself. Are you fond of colors? Have you slept well knowing your place in this universe? Does it upset you when a bug is crushed? Do you wish you could undo the past? If I made you some toast with jam, would it bother you that I didn't ask which jam you preferred? Do you believe in ghosts and the supernatural? If not, why don't you? Now, if you answered yes to all of these questions, then again, I'm sorry, you're not the person that I'm looking for. But you're most likely a splendid human if not for the jam and toast bit. I mean, it's honestly just breakfast. If your answers seem to be yes and no, then please continue listening. I need someone who can see both sides of the coin. Consider us now acquainted. You're one step closer to knowing my name. How exciting. Next, I'm going to tell you a story. Just sit back and listen. I hope you enjoy it. Once upon a time, a man and his wife moved to the countryside to start a carrot farm. The man loved to garden, and his wife loved nature. It was the perfect decision, they both thought. The husband would have access to the rich soil of the countryside, and the wife would spend her days among the trees. One day, during his gardening, the man spotted a deer grazing on his carrots. Grabbing his shovel, he killed and butchered the deer for taking his lovely carrots and buried the remains in the nearby forest. The next day, the wife killed her husband and buried him along the carrots. And the next day after that, the deer killed the wife and buried her next to the house. Now tell me, how does that story make you feel? Do you side with the man who killed the deer? The wife who killed her husband, or the deer who killed the wife? If you chose to side with the man, I believe it's time we part ways. The poor animal was just trying to eat carrots. If you chose to side with the wife, then also please stop listening as the man didn't deserve to die by the hands of his wife for trying to protect his livelihood. Plus, deer make for a hearty feast. If you sided with the deer, you're better off not continuing as well. For one, deers don't come back to life to enact revenge. And two, that deer took revenge on someone who tried to appease its death in their stead. How rude to kill someone who only sought to make things right, even if misguided. Now I see you're upset, but I need someone who would have looked at that story and called me a lunatic for concocting such an absolutely insane tale, expecting to take sides. Fret not, you may continue listening, but know, the side you took will be noted when I must make my decision. Unless of course you did in fact call me a crazy fool, to which I say, well done, full remarks. Excellent, we've reached the halfway point of this interview. I'm sorry you seem so confused. Did I not mention this was actually an interview? I'm sure I did. I'm positive I did at some point. You must be forgetting a lapse in time. It's alright, it happens to us all. Time is often difficult to understand, and I'm sure your brain just doesn't have enough space to remember when I told you such simple instructions. Now, don't be getting cross with me. I wasn't the one who forgot. Honestly, you expect me to just play along? Make you feel better by lying about your inability to remember small, minute, insignificant bits of information? I say, I'm a bit surprised you'd be upset with me, given how nice I've been. Tell you what, why don't you leave? That's right, leave. I've no use for people who can't keep their heads on straight, and to be truthful, I didn't think you'd pass anyway. So go on, take your pea-sized brain and shove off for all I care. I'm sure I can find someone worthy, and with some modicum of respect. What? You're still listening? Honestly, what do you expect to happen? An apology? Answers? A fucking parade? Sorry, but you ain't getting one. Oh, I think I just apologized, didn't I? Well, I guess you got what you wanted. Are you happy knowing you won? Are you pleased you've outsmarted me? I didn't apologize for calling your brain small, which it still is, mind you. Yet you continue to listen, even though I slandered your name, calling you awful things, and straight out lied to you. You must truly want answers then, or perhaps you're a bit insane. Either way, continuing is your free will. I will complete the interview regardless of your desire. Push forward, we must do. Very well, let us move on to the next section of the interview. The world is ending. The world has ended. The world is now empty. What do you fill the world with? Picture it now in your mind. Are there trees? Are people happy? Is the sky still blue, or perhaps a new color never before seen? How do the buildings take shape? Did we build them? Are they buildings in this new world? Or are they still rubble from an old era? Do the birds still sing? Do I have fondness for birds and their songs? In my world, the birds always sing, the trees always grow, and the sun is a square. Simple, because circles cannot be trusted. Tell me, what does your world look like? If it had water in it, I'm glad you care for thirst. Water is by far my favorite liquid after all. Did your world have a war? We know it is an inevitability, but perhaps you found a way to quell the rage of the stricken and depraved. By chance, was there hope in your world? But why do people need hope when the world is perfect? Perhaps your world wasn't perfect after all. If you dream of a perfect world, also stop listening. Do you feel like you could make a better world? Yes or no? A simple answer to a question that holds so much weight on the mind. What is the perfect existence after all? Have any of us achieved it? How can we strive for perfection when we have not the ideal blueprints to work from? I say it's most complexing to be us, always looking to achieve another goal, gain a new skill, climb that ladder we call success. Do you find it easy to be a human? Do you think it's effortless to be alive? If your answer is yes, I would also like you to stop listening. I need someone who knows tribulations of humanity and lives them, carries them, accepts them as a part of who they are. What I need is someone who knows these truths, yet still lives knowing the answers we wish we could exist without. Continue listening if you live knowing the weight of the truth. Goodness, that part of the interview always gets me so heavy. I feel like I need a little break. Do you need a break? Remember when the question were about colors and ghosts? What a time that was. Can I get you something? A drink? Cream soda perhaps? Those are favored amongst the staff, so we always have some in stock. A coffee might suit you better. We all need to drive to get us through the day. Or perhaps you're a tea drinker, steeped and brewed to perfection. Now, me personally, I think soda is a perfectly fine choice if you want to join the socially norm. But tea, at this time of day, might make you an outlier and be shunned. However, coffee is a safe bet and well respected, but could you honestly go without it if you had to? Or by chance, did you choose a fourth option? Maybe even a glass of water, seeing as you knew water was my favorite liquid. Regardless of your choice, you must know, even the smallest choices we make create stories for others to weave about you. Even if you chose nothing, the absence of choice can still lead to vastly drastic conclusions. I would even suggest you stop listening if your decision was to drink nothing, seeing as I was so kind as to offer a free beverage. Pardon me while I drank mine. Take this time to ponder if you'll continue or not. If you think you wish to proceed, by all means, enjoy your drink as well. Refreshing, right? I feel better knowing we shared a moment to enjoy our drinks. I would almost call us working friends, if that's okay with you, of course. If we are friends, please, I'd like to continue. But if you see me as annoying, insufferable, or not worth your time, by all means, there's the door. Those who have stayed, though, I'm glad you're here. You honor me with your time. The small amount of time you have gifted me is something that I will cherish forever, until the very stars that light our skies explode and shower the void with its light. I'm getting carried away, but no, I still care about the time we share. Speaking of time, would you like some back? Are you old now? Are you young and want to be old? I can give you these things, you know. I can give you all the time you want, or all the time you need. Do you need a day, a month, or even a lifetime? Did you get it right the first time, or did you need some time to prove your worth? Perhaps you want more time to figure things out, or more time to get things the way you want them. I've been given so much time, I often find myself wasting it on useless things. So, sometimes I give my time to others. How much will you take from me? You can have it all if you want it. I won't hold it against you. You might need it more than me. Or perhaps you squandered the time you were given and now seek to merely take advantage of this opportunity. Either way, no grudge will await you. How much did you take? A few seconds to collect your thoughts? Or did you by chance take too much? I feel myself slipping. Perhaps it's my time to pass on now. I don't hold it against you. You needed it more than me. I was only going to spend it listening to the birds sing, you know. What a waste of time, some would say. What would you say about that? I kept enough time to finish this interview. My job requires me to do so after all. I'm one of the best employees here, and I plan to keep that record going. So let's wrap things up while I have the time. I'd hate to upset the working condition here with my untimely death. Now, on to the final question. Are we friends? Have I made a good impression? I'm sorry to ask, but I truly must know. A friendship cannot simply exist if only one participant wishes it so. If you've listened this far, I would think you're my friend, at least by standards. To listen to me speak and continue to ramble on is a great show of friendship. It's clear, really. You may think you're obligated to stay, but I've given you escape, and yet here you remain. A stranger who continues to listen to someone who doesn't know their real name. So, would you consider us friends? Your answer matters the most. If yes, then truly, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. But you must leave, because you're too easy to please and quick to trust, which is what I don't need. If not, then thank you. Please continue listening. The truth is, you'll never know my name. None truly do. So continue to listen if that's okay with you. The job I need for you is one unlike any other. To make the choices I cannot. The one I wished to never burden on others. You see, my interviewee, the job for which I have for you is one that takes respect, a modicum of grace, and above all else, wit. Not many can perform this task, and so I leave it to the chosen few who can make the choice I really do. You'll be the one to cut the thread of the ones who we love and the ones we hate. You'll be the one to end their fate. I'm sorry for the theatrics, but I really had to be sure. If you're the one who's willing to make life's grand detour. The hours are long, the task is grueling, but the right employee will do so willingly. So I wish to continue this interview if you've listened up to this part. You're now on my short list, so bravo for getting this far. So please, leave your resume. I'll keep your answers safe, and 2 or 3 references just in case. Thank you again for lending me your time. I cherish it still. I hope you cherished mine. We'll be in touch.